Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a red-hot NXT arena here in Orlando, Florida. Lots of things happening, lots of announcements to be made, and with that, we send things over to our interim general manager, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
It's with great pride that I bring you huge news to you. You know, being a champion on any level, no matter what it is, as a young lad growing up and moving up to become WWE champion or world heavyweight champion, being able to hold a major piece of gold is a great accomplishment. NXT needs that future. It needs that guy that's going to be the one that moves up and searches for that elusive dream that so many chase, that dream of being a champion. The first ever NXT champion is about to be crowned. Tournaments throughout the past few weeks have been held, and we're down to 8. The Gold Rush Tournament, as I call it. And in that Gold Rush Tournament, there's going to be 8 men vying for that one position to become the first ever NXT champions. And them 8 men are, I'm happy to announce, Richie Steamboat, Bo Dallas, Leo Kruger, Seth Rollins, Mike McGillicuddy, Drew McIntyre, Jinder Mahal, and Justin Gabriel. Wow, what a group. And I'm gonna tell you something a little more exciting than that as we get kicked off here. That tournament, the Gold Rush Tournament, I so exclusively named, begins right now on NXT.
This is an NXT Championship Tournament quarterfinal match set for one fall. Introducing first, from Charlotte, North Carolina, weighing 215 pounds, Richie Steamboat.
It's a special night with historical implications. You just heard the announcement. The Gold Rush Tournament is underway. Byron Saxton, William Regal, along with good old JR, Jim Ross, calling the action, and we are kicking things off hot.
Richie Steamboat, the son of the legendary Hall of Famer, Ricky Steamboat. And here, my favorite South African, Leo Kruger.
His opponent, from Johannesburg, South Africa, weighing in at 225 pounds, Leo Kruger.
Well, Leo Kruger, some may call him narcissistic, some may call him arrogant, but I'll tell you what, in Richie Steamboat, he has an opponent that he knows very, very well. Based on this heated contest just 2 weeks ago, but Leo Kruger never wanted to shy away from the short end of the stick, utilizing the assistance of the ropes to capture a victory over Richie Steamboat.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a single elimination tournament. Only the winners advance. The losers are out of the competition.
This truly is the most important night of these young men's lives and careers. This is where they prove themselves. And the new NXT Championship is what they need to prove themselves to the WWE. It's vital.
How fitting is it that Leo Kruger and Richie Steamboat are facing each other in this quarterfinal matchup when two of these men were touted as 2 of the hottest prospects in NXT.
And they still are, by the way. And they have had a great rivalry in the past. I would say they're about 50-50 on wins and losses. Something's got to give here because there's no second chances in this tournament. We could be looking at one of the men, or the man that could be the next champion.
Talk about raising the stakes and raising the pressure. Oh, quick pinfall attempt by Richie Steamboat early on. Multiple covers, Richie Steamboat trying to end this thing early.
Steamboat is the faster of the two, a little quicker, in my estimation, and that speed can certainly be an issue, Mr. Regal, as this match progresses. Speed
It certainly
kills.
can. It certainly can, yes, Mr. Ross. But also remember that Leo Kruger is incredibly methodical, and sometimes that can be an issue for your opponent.
Immediate sign of disrespect by Leo Kruger. Richie Steamboat having none of it, and now we've got a chase on our hands.
Steamboat has got a very short fuse, and is Kruger playing Steamboat?
Whatever the case is, we got a rapid-fire chase going on, and I guess it worked to the advantage of Leo Kruger.
Kruger is a supreme strategist, a very intelligent man, as William Regal mentioned, from South Africa. He loves to use that sleeper, take you down with the body scissors as well. It's a very devastating submission maneuver that we've seen Kruger utilize many times, and what a chop.
Richie Steamboat bringing the fight to Leo Kruger, who once again decides he wants to take a break.
Nice way to break the momentum.
It's a nice way to break the momentum, and it's also the smart thing to do. Get your bearings, figure out where you are, and then attack. Leo Kruger comes from a great line of South African competitors. We have 2 of them in this tournament, which is incredible for the wrestlers of South Africa, because most of them have never been seen on a worldwide basis before. In fact, none of them. These 2 are the first. Justin Gabriel and Leo Kruger. Good for them.
Leo Kruger has called himself the alpha male lion, if you will, of NXT. Certainly remains to be seen if he can back up that claim, especially against Richie Steamboat.
The thing is, Byron, we know he can back up that claim, because we know a lot of the fans here and the universe in NXT doesn't understand how good Leo Kruger.
Kruger may have hurt his knee there from that Irish whip. He may have tweaked his knee. I'm not quite sure. He's certainly indicating such. Well, that would be a tragedy for Kruger if this match ended on his injury, and Steamboat would advance via the forfeit.
Oh, look out. Well, clearly that was part of Leo Kruger's mind game attempt against Richie Steamboat, and apparently worked to perfection.
Kruger has been attempting to get inside Steamboat's head since the early going. And right now it is all Leo Kruger. And I got to think that Kruger's thinking one thing. It's this patented submission maneuver that he likes to utilize.
Now, is this a mistake, taking time to showboat when you could be attacking your opponent?
Well, it's very easy for us to sit here and analyze and to tell people what they should be doing, but coming from my experience, when you're in there and you're in the middle of a competition and you're in with your adrenaline flowing, sometimes you can't help it if you're a little arrogant. That's what makes us the people that we are.
Kruger able to maintain the advantage, lateral press.
Very nicely applied cravat there. For the people at home that sometimes don't understand exactly what it feels like you could be dying 1,000 deaths right now, being in a hold as torturous as this.
Richie Steamboat positioning it all in the center of the ring, which is favorable if you're Leo Kruger. Richie clearly has to find a way out of this predicament to maintain life in this matchup.
Look at the way Leo Kruger's applying pressure to the top of the head of Richie Steamboat. Most people's neck can't possibly be put in that position, and it shows you how smart Leo Kruger is at wearing down his opponent.
Steamboat's neck anatomically incorrect, but Steamboat known for his fight and his desire. Perhaps that's in his DNA from his father. Nice spine buster.
Shoulders down on Richie Steamboat.
Did you see the way that Leo Kruger hooked the back of Richie Steamboat's neck there? You don't see many competitors have that kind of ring savvy about him. I love to see this young man.
You get the sense that Leo Kruger is preparing to put the final touches on Richie Steamboat, and there it goes.
Steamboat counters out that attempted sleeper hold.
Kruger right back on the offensive. That's what makes Leo Kruger so strong inside that ring, because he tends to maintain that calm, that cool demeanor. When things don't go his way, he finds a way to dig deep and change things up.
Leo Kruger was trained by a man from South Africa called Donnie Brits, who's one of the greatest competitors outside of this country that I've ever faced. Was ruthless in the ring, and it shows in the way that Leo Kruger conducts himself.
Nice shot there with Steamboat that shows his ambidextrous nature with his feet.
Steamboat True to his family's name, never giving up, always fighting. Understanding what's at stake in this match.
We have seen a lot of momentum change in this contest. Steamboat trying to quicken the pace, trying to use that speed advantage we talked about earlier. Great elevation.
Momentum slowly itching into the corner of Richie Steamboat. Hard elbow driven down. Now Richie looking to enter the high rent district. High drop kick connects. Steamboat with the cover, hooks the leg.
That drop kick was perfectly placed right on the point of the ear as well, which will knock most people out instantly. It shows you what kind of condition Leo Kruger's in, as for everybody here in NXT. Incredible athletes.
Kruger's equilibrium, he's gutted it out, trying to get him to go for that sleeper. That becomes a submission maneuver. Steamboat has suffered at the hands of this submission maneuver that Kruger utilizes on other occasions. We can see the end of Richie Steamboat's hopes and dreams to be the first champion.
Leo Kruger, you have to believe the confidence now at an all-time high. This is exactly what Kruger wanted. This is exactly the positioning that Kruger needed.
Have you noticed how every tiny bit of strategy from Leo Kruger has focused back in on that neck area, though? That's what you need to be a successful competitor, especially when there's such high stakes.
Steamboat somehow able to grab onto that bottom rope, forcing the official to break the hold, but Leo Kruger still on the offensive, driving those harsh knees into the back of Richie Steamboat.
Kruger a little frustrated that he allowed Steamboat to get close enough to the ropes to call for the referee to call for the break.
Oh, watch out! What a counter! What a counter! Hook of the leg of Steamboat! Yes!
Here is your winner, advancing to the semifinals of the NXT Championship Tournament, Richie Steamboat.
I would say Steamboat was far behind on points going into the final moments of this contest.
He certainly was, yes. And this is where just the sheer determination of Richie Steamboat came into play. And it's great to see. I mean, this is how important this night is to Richie Steamboat. Just look at the desire in his eyes. He can see that championship closely by now, and he wants it more than anything in his life.
So Steamboat is the first man to advance, the winner of the first quarterfinal matchup in the Gold Rush Tournament to crown the first ever champion.
But the question is, who will join him? We'll find out later tonight as Seth Rollins takes on Drew McIntyre. It's another quarterfinal matchup to crown the first ever NXT champion.
My training style is unique. I don't see my opponent as a challenge. I see him as a victim. So when I train, I don't train for a fight. I train to beat you down. Life to me is about getting paid. Time is money, and I don't get paid by the hour. The world you know is about to change.
I'm a soldier, yeah, I told ya. I'm on a mission, I'm switching, I'm all over. I'm a soldier, yeah, I told ya. I'm on a mission, I'm switching. Listen, I'm trouble, yeah, I can't keep still. Yeah, I told ya. I'm on a mission, I'm switching, I'm all over.
This bout is set for one fall. Introducing first, from Tampa, Florida, weighing 289 pounds, Big E Langston.
Oh, there have been a lot of people talking about the ability of this man. a highly recruited American football player out of the University of Iowa with ridiculous level of weightlifting accomplishments. A squat of 750 pounds. He can bench press nearly 600 pounds. This is Big E Langston.
And his opponent already in the ring from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, weighing 245 pounds, Adam Mercer.
And one can only wonder what's going on in the mind of Adam Mercer having to face Big E.
You also left out that Big E Langston can deadlift over 700 pounds and has a record for it. People at home listening probably don't believe me because I'm used to lying a lot, but please explain how big Adam Mercer is and how dwarfed he is in comparison next to Big E Langston.
Adam Mercer's a good-sized guy, you know, 6'2", 200, 40 pounds, but against Big E, it's just remarkable how thick this man is. Look at the dominance and the aggression immediately.
Big E Langston, an incredibly intelligent young man as well. He has a presence about him when he talks. He's so calculating and cunning. I think unless Big E Langston doesn't want to be at the top of NXT, Big E Langston can be wherever he wants to be.
Look how Big E is just simply manhandling Adam Mercer. I mean, to him, this is just an extension of a workout in the gym.
Certainly is. And Big E Langston doesn't just train in regular weightlifting. He does unusual lifts. He throws sandbags around that weigh 200 pounds and plays with them. It's not tossing them around. He throws kettle, he can do a double clean and press with 205-pound kettlebells, which anybody that knows anything about that, it's an impressive feat.
What is Big E got here? Unrelenting aggression. My goodness.
I sometimes become redundant saying it, but if you take the breath out of a competitor, that competitor becomes very weak very quickly. Adam Mercer is a well-conditioned young man, but he's helpless now because Big E Langston took all the life out of him.
Look at Big E, almost seemed like he might have been talking trash to Mercer, who tries to capitalize. A couple jawbreakers there, trying to create some separation, but to no avail.
Back to that breadbasket again.
Oh, gosh. Big E Langston has just become unglued inside the NXT arena. Looks as if bad intentions are in store for Mercer. Hook of the leg, and that is all she wrote.
Here is your winner, Big E Langston.
Well, Big E Langston, talk about a way to make a debut and to turn heads. Take a look at some of the dominance we saw here. Full speed ahead, a spear in the corner by a man who, again, deadlifts over 700 pounds and just tearing through Adam Mercer. And the final touch, my goodness. I think it's safe to say we can believe the hype. Big E Langston is here on NXT.
Everybody in the NXT locker room needs to take great notice. This is a man, Big E Langston, who can be unbeatable. It's up to him how far he goes here.
The Gold Rush tournament is underway. Quarterfinal matchup as Seth Rollins takes on Drew McIntyre. Who will advance? We'll find out tonight. Plus, one of the most controversial divas in NXT, Raquel Diaz, plans to extend her Exfoliation of Ugliness tour. How will it fare against Audrey Marie? We'll find out here on NXT. Tonight is the night. Bright lights, high crowd, yeah, we need to throw down. Everybody get loud. Tonight is the night. A-list can't miss when we burn it to the ground. Everybody get down. Tonight is the night. We stay climbing while our baby.
This is a Divas match set for one fall. Introducing first from Houston, Texas, Audrey Marie.
Welcome back to NXT, and as you can see, William Regal, it's time for some Divas action.
Does it sound weird of me saying it's my favorite part of the night?
I would actually expect you to say that.
Okay, thank you.
Audrey Marie, a new addition to the Divas division here on NXT. She's also a certified public accountant. So if you have money issues,
Money.
financial advice,
I'm more broke than the Ten Commandments, Sunshine.
very well.
Guess who? There is no guessing when Raquel Diaz enters a room. You all were thinking it, but I said it. And you know what else I was thinking? That Audrey Marie doesn't know how to work a ramp. Watch and learn, mamacita. Oh wait, un momento. Yes, beautiful, gorgeous, You know why I look especially beautiful tonight? That's because, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the Exfoliating Ugliness Tour commences now. Love it!
Oh, there you go. Not much more explanation than you need. Raquel pretty much gave it to us there, William Regal.
And we can see the look on Audrey Marie's face. She's not very impressed, but does she need to be worried about Raquel Diaz? And I think she does.
Well, the pompous Ultra Diva, as she has referred to herself, Raquel pretty much has made it clear what she thinks of the other divas here on NXT, which isn't a whole lot.
Sometimes you have to have that confidence, and when you come from a family background like Raquel Diaz, coming from the Guerrero family, you're allowed a certain bit of arrogance, I would think.
Well, she certainly has great genetics, and she has no problem telling you how good she is, as we just heard. Audrey Marie, on the other hand, you know, a very humble young lady, you know, has a tireless attitude, always trying to work hard and get better. The complete opposite of Raquel. Wow.
I can't agree with you there. You said that Audrey Marie...
Oh, watch out, cover here.
Audrey Marie's always trying to work hard and get better, the complete opposite of Raquel Diaz. Raquel Diaz, as is anybody with any sense here on NXT, is always trying to get better. Look at that nice half Nelson with a yeah, there she goes. Half Nelson with a chin lock applied there.
Well, obviously the personalities are different, taking nothing away from Raquel's in-ring ability, which we're seeing right now on display as she hooks the far leg of Audrey Marie. Raquel has called every match of hers on NXT. This has called every match of hers on NXT a part of her exfoliation of ugliness tour as Audrey Marie tries to counter. Raquel is so resourceful inside that ring.
Have you noticed the way that spitefulness about Raquel Diaz? I mean, you don't see that in many of the divas. In fact, very few of them I like to see. Just to scurf somebody's head across the mat like that. It's not a nice thing to do to a lady, is it?
Yeah, it's like Raquel has a watch jackknife covered by Audrey. Raquel, nice bridge out of that pinning combination. What is Raquel trying to execute?
Well, Raquel was trying to execute a backslide there, but Audrey Marie used the ropes to her advantage. Unfortunately...
Uh-oh, hold on, wait a minute. We've seen this before.
Yes.
Raquel executes full throttle, full impact, and a full victory.
Here is your winner, Raquel Diaz.
Well, all the credit to Audrey Marie for putting up a very good fight, but Raquel Diaz just proved to be a little bit too much here tonight.
Seems like Raquel Diaz is backing up her words, and that's all you can ask of any competitor. I'm glad that she's doing that, because there's nothing worse than doing a lot of talking and not being able to back it up.
What is she doing now? Oh, that's great. That's great. Raquel's got lipstick in her hand and writing L for loser on the forehead of Audrey Marie. You know, like it or not, or like Raquel or not, which is hard too after seeing actions like that. Raquel clearly feeling the need to prove her point on this exfoliation of ugliness tour and flat out trying to embarrass Audrey Marie. Yeah, real classy, Raquel.
Well, Bradley Pierce here, and I'm standing with Paige. Paige, after watching what Raquel Diaz just did in the ring, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, you are a diva here at NXT.
Raquel Diaz? Ugliness tour? We'll see.
But folks, still to come tonight, the 8-man single elimination tournament to crown the first ever NXT champion continues with this one. Seth Rollins will go one-on-one with Drew McIntyre. Oh, it's gonna be history in the making on NXT.
The following tag team match is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, at a total combined weight of 435 pounds, Unico and Camacho.
Well, Unico and Camacho don't necessarily win the most popular award around these parts, but they have a brotherly kind of relationship in which they respect each other. They just don't respect anyone else.
Their opponents already in the ring at a total combined weight of 445 pounds, Mike Dalton and Jason Jordan.
Well, Mike Dalton and Jason Jordan teaming up for the very first time here on NXT, and certainly immediately you look at the tag team chemistry that Unico and Camacho have, and the question is, can Dalton and Jordan somehow match that chemistry?
Well, sometimes you obviously need some kind of chemistry as a great tag team, but putting two competitors together, this could be the night that we see that chemistry, the ignition of it. So hopefully for them it is, because as we know, Unico and Camacho have spent years and years together, traveled the roads together, obviously been best friends, and I've told this story before, but the reason that they are best friends was Unico was getting a good hiding, basically, in the barrio. He told me this, the barrio. You hear that? And Camacho came along, didn't like the odds, saw this gang, and attacked one of them and bit one of the other fellas' noses off. And they've been bonded ever since.
An odd bond, to say the least, but it's a bond.
It's a bond.
Nice takedown by Jason Jordan, who was an amateur wrestling standout at the University of Indiana. Early going here, maintaining an advantage.
And Jason Jordan, we have to point this out to the people at home. Still in the first several months of his rookie year, and an incredible...
Oh, watch the pinning combination by Mike Dalton.
An incredible future for this young man.
Oh, that'll change anyone's future in a hurry. Watch Unico there, Camacho providing the slight distraction for Unico, who goes for the cover.
Now this is where, as a tag team, Unico and Camacho will have strategized every combination possibly they can think of where their opponent can be taken off guard.
Good tags in and out by Unico and Camacho, isolating Mike Dalton.
Can you imagine the bond, the loyalty between Unico and Camacho? As I told the story before, how they come together in the first place, and knowing that they're willing to do anything to help their partner. That's something very special. Oh, I don't know if I ever actually had a partner that I was willing to go to that kind of a length for, but obviously they are. They've got that bond, and that's incredible.
Well, the bond is a little frightening, but you know, it brings them together, and it makes them a very formidable tag team against virtually anyone. Oh, nice counter by Mike Dalton.
You can never count Mike Dalton out, because he's such a skilled competitor and has been trained so well.
And the thing that pushes Mike Dalton is that he knows he's an underdog. He knows sometimes people see him in that ring and don't think he has a chance, and that's what he thrives on.
Yeah, it's true. He uses it to his advantage. but the only thing he needs to do right now is to get to the corner and tag his partner, Jason Jordan.
Oh. Showing you the strength of Camacho. Oh.
Very well executed double arm, as you call it, a butterfly suplex there.
Camacho very deliberate in his maneuvers.
Have you noticed the way, let me explain to the people at home, the way that Hunico and Camacho are cutting the ring off? A good tag team keeps their opponent in their side of the ring.
This, my goodness. That might be it for Mike Dalton.
You make it as hard as possible for your opponent to tag his partner. Obviously, it sounds like common sense, but a lot of tag teams don't understand.
And once again, you know, Jason Jordan, I understand what he was trying to do, but really provided no help for Mike Dalton, who was the recipient of those vicious boots at the hands of both Hunico and Camacho. Once again, both men and double team maneuver. Wait a minute, countered by Dalton. Hook both legs. He got him.
Here are your winners, Jason Jordan and Mike Dalton.
How about that? Mike Dalton just pulled one over on Camacho and earned the win for his team.
Certainly pulled one over on me. We've seen Mike Dalton get a serious beating there. I need to see that again, because he looked like the only option he had left was to tag his partner.
Yeah, let's take another look at this. It looked like Hunico and Camacho had things well in order, but look at this. Hurricane Rana countered Dalton, able to hold Camacho down for 3 seconds. It's just like that. The team of Mike Dalton and Jason Jordan have just shocked the world.
I think that's the biggest upset we've seen on NXT.
I think so.
Good for them.
Wow.
Good for them. Spices things up a little, doesn't it?
Well, folks, the time has come. Up next, the second half of our quarterfinal matchups here tonight to crown a new NXT champion. Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre. Next.
When I come through those curtains right there, you can look in my eyes and see I'm ready to go. I have a smile on my face at the start, but once I step into that ring, it's fight time. I come ready to rock and roll. I'm a third-generation superstar. My grandfather was Blackjack Mulligan. My dad, Mike Rotundo. Both my uncles, Barry and Kendall Windham, all WWE superstars. Growing up with them as my mentors and being around them, never one time in my life did I not think I was going to be a WWE superstar. I always knew it. I think people are going to expect a lot more out of me, but that's all right. I'm full and ready to fulfill their expectations. I'm ready to go. I am non-stop. I won't get out of your face. You knock me down, I'll get back up. You keep on punching me, I guarantee you're gonna hurt your knuckles, bust them up, because I'm gonna get right back up and I'm gonna be there all day. I won't stop. Because I got a smile that shines for miles, a fist that breaks bricks, and a chin that won't give in. And if anybody can stop me, come on, step up and get around, because I'm ready to go.
This is an NXT Championship Tournament quarterfinal match set for one fall. Introducing first, from Ayr, Scotland, weighing 254 pounds, Drew McIntyre.
Well, to say this is a high-value match is a grave understatement, and Drew McIntyre understands what's at stake in this opportunity. We'll take you back to last week when Drew McIntyre took on Seth Rollins. Very back and forth matchup, but McIntyre was able to capitalize, and one double or underhook DDT later, McIntyre was able to propel himself to victory. The question is, can Drew McIntyre do the same tonight and advance to the semifinals of the NXT Gold Rush Tournament?
His opponent from Davenport, Iowa, weighing 209 pounds, Seth Rollins.
He is the flag bearer for individualism, and he thrives off a mosh pit, rock star-like mentality to get amped up.
Certainly got me amped up. I don't know what any of that was all about, but I mean, it shows you the kind of just the adrenaline flowing through Seth Rollins, how excited he is, and every right he has to be, because the NXT Championship means more to these two young men than anything else in their lives. As we've said already before tonight, for Richie Steamboat, one of these young men is going to be the NXT champion, the first, and can say that in the rest of history, there's only going to ever be one first champion.
Rollins also knows that the last time he met McIntyre here on NXT, that Rollins lost. What kind of mind game, what kind of strategy will that necessitate Rollins employing here against a bigger, stronger athlete?
Both of these two young men have a lot of international experience as well. Obviously wrestled in many countries and many different styles. So it's always interesting to watch them, because just when you think one of them has the upper hand, they can switch styles and throw their opponent off their game.
Nice shots by Rollins on the quadricep of the bigger man, Drew McIntyre. If McIntyre's vertical base can be destroyed or affected, it would serve Rollins well, but right now, McIntyre is imposing his physical will on Seth Rollins.
Sometimes a good punch in the mouth's all you need, Mr. Ross, and that's what Drew McIntyre just showed there. Now, Drew McIntyre's in his element. He loves beating people up.
Well, here's the thing to remember. The last time these two faced off, some would say that Drew McIntyre took Seth Rollins a little lightly. So I think we're going to see a more aggressive Drew McIntyre. Whoa! In this matchup, although Seth Rollins certainly bringing the fight right to him.
Rollins showing great athleticism and quickness. The head scissors takeover. Rollins unorthodox, highly motivated. Remember, this tournament, single elimination. No one gets a second chance. The gold rush, if you will, can have only one winner.
Now watch. I think Drew McIntyre anticipated Seth Rollins coming after him, and I guess that's a different kind of strategy. Oh.
Rollins' face slamming into the ring. If you can see, it's very unprotected there. The apron of the ring, it's the metal of the ring. And both these men need to be very careful not to be counted out. If they're counted out, they're both out of the tournament.
Exactly, yes. I wonder if a lot of the competitors actually think of strategies like that, Mr. Ross. You have to be very careful at certain situations when you're in these predicaments.
Well, the thing, if you're watching at home, we said single elimination means only the winners advance. Both men being counted out, we would have no winner, obviously, so both would be eliminated. McIntyre especially aggressive here tonight.
The one thing I've noticed, I've known Drew McIntyre since he was probably 20 years of age. He's gone through a lot of life's lessons and he has a lot of life scars on him in the last few years. And he brings it to every opponent.
Covered by McIntyre.
And that's what I like about him.
Folks, I apologize. We have to take a break. The question is, can Drew McIntyre maintain the advantage? Our NXT Championship Tournament will continue. Welcome back to NXT, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just joining us, this is our main event. It's our second quarterfinal matchup to crown a new and first ever NXT champion as Drew McIntyre goes for the cover here. Earlier on tonight, we saw Richie Steamboat advance to the semifinals, and one of these two men here tonight will do the same.
It's a gut check for Seth Rollins against Drew McIntyre. McIntyre has earned an advantage and is now trying to widen that advantage on his way to a victory, which could see McIntyre advance in the tournament.
Drew McIntyre's been trying for a long time in the WWE to make his mark. He obviously knows that being the NXT champion will be the major way that he could get spotted by the WWE. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That every competitor here knows in NXT, it's very important for them to win their matches and to win that championship.
So Seth Rollins is hurt here. He is heavily favoring that left arm.
And it's obvious that the experienced McIntyre from Scotland will exploit that injury if possible. Left arm wringer right across the apron of the ring. The ring apron has been an advocate of Drew McIntyre's efforts thus far tonight.
I'm always a fan of competitors when they use the ring as a weapon, and they're quite happy to use that because it's there for you. For your entertainment, you can have your way with an opponent. Certainly, if you injure an arm or injure a knee, bang it across the apron, bang it across the ring post, use the ropes. That's what they're there for. Well, that's what I think anyway.
Drew McIntyre very rarely unprepared for the task at hand, and his strategy is working to a T against Seth Rollins.
Well, McIntyre's got unlimited potential, but I've always said that potential won't buy groceries over the long term. You got to win. You got to get something going, earn success. And this is the vehicle for Drew McIntyre to earn that success. But look at Rollins. Seth Rollins.
Oh, wow.
Amazing counter.
One
Came with
arm.
a DDT.
One arm and all, and yet Seth Rollins still able to counter. Take a look at this again. Amazingly, Seth Rollins able to counter into a DDT and perhaps change the momentum of this match.
That was a gutsy counter by Seth Rollins. It shows how motivated and hell-bent Seth Rollins is on winning this matchup and advancing in the next tournament. The gold rush is indeed on, and McIntyre has got to rebound, got to regroup and regain an advantage. Oh, what an enziguri. The head kick, catching McIntyre, I think, right in the temple.
Right in the temple. It's amazing that Drew McIntyre can even, well, we can see his legs have completely gone here.
Just shows you the resiliency of Seth Rollins, who's about to fly!
Rollins risking even more with that suicide-like dive. And we'll take another look with McIntyre vulnerable. Rollins, death-defying leap right between the ropes. Rollins putting his own body on the line in hopes of winning this matchup. Remember, only the winners advance.
You can feel the energy. You can feel that sense of urgency right now for Seth Rollins, knowing what's at stake, knowing the opportunity that is right around the corner for his career.
Rollins with that forearm. Oh, good God. Inside out went Rollins, the clothesline, the cover. McIntyre, a near fall. McIntyre with a near fall after the high impact, thunderous clothesline.
I have no idea how Seth Rollins even found the energy to kick out of that predicament.
It's the desire and the determination of Seth Rollins that makes him special. That's what he's all about, and we see that week after week. Whenever we see him, he's always got that something different about him. It drives him forward.
A series of headbutts by the 6'5" Drew McIntyre. It is a must-win situation. Essentially a sudden death in every one of these tournament matches. You only advance if you win.
Watch out, Rollins.
The power. Tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, the power of McIntyre. McIntyre hooking the leg, and the rule of the referee's hand was coming down for the 3 count. But Rollins again willed himself out of the predicament.
Rollins using his leg strength there. Just that, you can see the experience that he has. Just that extra flick of the leg and the twist of the hip was enabled him to kick out there. His certainly upper body is completely in a mess, so he hadn't got the upper body strength to push out.
It's an outstanding matchup. Our second main event of the night. A quarterfinal match, the second quarterfinal match in the Gold Rush tournament to crown a first champion.
Well, JR, you said it correctly earlier. This is a true gut check. We are really seeing everything that both Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins are willing to put on the line.
Another hard shot right to the spine. That's 3 or 4 high impact maneuvers to the spine. And now McIntyre looking perhaps to put Rollins away. They're in no man's land here. Far from the promised land.
It's another strike to the temple of Drew McIntyre. Seth Rollins.
All or nothing. McIntyre. Able to land on his feet.
Rollins, how did Rollins have the wherewithal to move out of the way? Face first, hook of the leg. Rollins advances.
Here is your winner, advancing to the semifinals of the NXT Championship Tournament, Seth Rollins.
What a match.
Outstanding matchup. Without a sounding cliche, either man had the chance to win during this contest on numerous occasions. But Seth Rollins just refused to lose, is how I see it.
We've seen this time and time again from Seth Rollins. It makes me proud to be a part of professional wrestling when I see competitors like this. This is what the NXT tournament means to these people.
Watch Rollins right here. He makes an adjustment in midair, lands on his feet, and then avoids the big boot to the face, has the wherewithal to deliver the final damaging blow. The curb stomp-like maneuver. Hook in the far leg, tight, and gets the 3 count. Seth Rollins has advanced and won his quarterfinal matchup.
So Seth Rollins joins Richie Steamboat in advancing to the semifinals. Folks, what a night it has been. Next week, more quarterfinal action to find out who will become the first ever NXT champion.